Alright guys, got another edition of circuit board crap, this time with the little Guinness, so we'll start out correct. It's delicious. So, we have a, at your guys' request, we have a another repair. This one is a lighting control module for a 2000 model Mercury Grand Marquis, which is the same thing as like a Crown Vic, very similar to like a Mercury Marauder. So we'll take the top two screws out here. Basically, the same things always fail in these. I've seen them only fail two different ways. Either A, the entire unit's just bad and there's all kinds of problems, usually from just age and water and abuse, or the headlights don't work or intermittently don't work or something like that. I had one where they were stuck on and the relay itself was not broke. Something internally was messed up. Looks like this particular unit, the headlights just didn't work at all. I traced it back and it was in fact the lighting control module here. So we'll take these two screws out, go here to the side, we'll pry up on that just to kind of separate the top half and the bottom half. Let's see if we like that. Hold it, go to the other side, do the same thing, just kind of separate that out. And this top half just hinges off. So, like this, comes out that way. It's got these little hinges that go. Alright, so if you guys can see, we pull the top half off. We'll set that out of the way. There are 4 relays on this board. Right here, this one closest to the plug to the outside, this is the headlight relay. This is the one that always fails. So here on the side, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pull up on this heat sink of the board at the same time we go against that. Sorry, my phone going nuts. Probably should turn that off. My phone goes nuts 24/7. Now it's broken my concentration. Pull up, or we'll start to pull out. We're just going to fold it over. There's these ribbon cables right here. We want to not disturb those, don't break those. Let me turn the volume down on my laptop, or on the desktop. Silence my phone real quick. Of course, it's Bren. Sorry, Bren. If you probably won't watch this, but if you do, I'm not ignoring you. I'm busy. Alright, so look at the circuit board. There's a set of pins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one relay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the other relay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one relay. And then the one we're after is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how well you can see on here, but the coating is less glazed around here. It's definitely been hot. So let's just go ahead and clean the area real quick. Again, we're just using some isopropyl alcohol and a little toothbrush. It's actually a new toothbrush. I just got at the dollar store and buy a 4-pack. So we're just going to clean off any contaminants or anything in the area. Paper towel. These are some super high quality paper towels. I'm kidding. My wife picked them up at the store. She told me they were green with sustainable resources or something. I don't really care. So, I guess heating up the soldering iron would probably help. So there's lots of testing that can be done to determine these, but if you've worked on this platform a lot, you're already kind of familiar with how they fail. And you can purchase these relays separately. So there are 2 ways you can do this. You can purchase replacement relays, or you can also like wire in a pigtail. Like I have some of these laying around. To just put a regular like 3177 VWD style relay on them. I've done that before. This one we're just going to replace the relay. If there are other problems with this lighting control module, like the door chime constantly goes off or any other issues, this is not going to be solved by replacing this relay. There may be other components that need replaced. So in this particular lighting control module, we are simply going to replace the one relay. That is all that's wrong, is the headlights don't work. You can test the relay if you want. I don't remember how the configuration is anymore. I've got a little chart somewhere. Doesn't matter. So we're just going to pull this off. So we'll grab our solder sucker. There are many much nicer setups out there than what I've got. Let me see if it's hot enough yet. No, not yet. So again, I'm just using an inexpensive Weller soldering iron and station. It's a little 80 watt, I think. The cable doesn't reach far enough to get into the camera, otherwise I would show you. Oh, it says 300 watt max for soldering irons only. I believe the unit itself is an 80 watt unit. This is an inexpensive Taiwanese solder sucker. It works fine. It's worked for everything I've ever used it for. Also for removing solder, you can use solder wick. I just use some inexpensive stuff. Of course, it doesn't want to focus. I have the camera zoomed in. Couldn't get the camera as close to the last video with the cluster. You guys seem to have enjoyed that, so I thought I'd shoot this thing. You can see this says 1996 Motorola on this board. So this is a very old design. This relay lasted that long. This relay takes a lot of heat. You put another factory NEC relay in there and it will last longer than the vehicle most likely. So, alright, soldering iron's nice and hot. So we're going to go ahead and just use the solder sucker. So we're going to heat up the post, put the solder over the post, press the button, suck the solder, go one more time. I don't know if I got it all on this one. There we go. Same thing, go to this post, heat the solder up till it's liquid, press the button, suck the solder out. Know how well that's going for you guys. Got a little more on that one. Okay. I think that one might actually be a little more as well. Go to this one. Heat that up till it's liquid, press it on, suck the solder out. They're really nice solder sucking units out there that are soldering iron and sucking units combined. They're like 300 bucks. I probably do enough repair to warrant buying one. I just don't need to. So I'm going to reach behind the board here with my hand. I'm going to grab the relay we're pulling. And I'm just going to kind of touch these last little bits of solder while I work the relay out, just carefully. There's little bitty pieces of solder left that are holding this in there. If there's enough on it all the way around, it'll not want to come out at all, which this one seems to not want to come out at all. So I may need to do some more solder removal. Yeah, so let's try to remove some more of the solder. Alright, try that again. Pull from the bottom, just going to work relay. There we go. Pretty much came right out. So the relay came right out. Take it, chuck it in the trash bin. We'll just do it actually. Alright, get a my box over here. We'll get another one. Alright, so we'll get this new one. Let's clean this hole up real quick. Make sure there's no over solder. Go ahead and clean the tip of our iron off. Clean the board a little more. Make sure we got it all off there. Looks pretty good. So, and sometimes when those old ones fail, they fail really intermittently, but you can almost always guarantee that it's the same problem. Looks pretty clean. Take the new relay. You can buy these online. The part number on them, if you just Google NEC EQ1-11111 S is in Sierra, so that is 5 1s and then an S. That's the ones I order. They're the same part number as the ones that are on these. I don't have any problem with them. So we'll take our solder. I usually just take this big pin, jam some in next to it. I mean, you can put a little thing underneath it to hold it or whatever, but if you just do that, that'll hold the unit in. So we can put a little, I like using the paste normally on ones that I know are, there we go. No. Where's she at? I got one that I like. There we go. A little hook tool. Pull flux paste on it. Somebody mentioned getting the ones in a syringe. Those would probably be really, really convenient. I've been using this paste for a long time. Kind of a fan. Alright, so I mean the idea of solder is pretty simple here. A lot of people, again, I'm not like a professional, but it is Guinness time. So soldering is fairly simple. You kind of want to heat the post and the whole area up, and then add solder and pull it off. So you're not heating the solder up and putting the solder on. You're heating the component and then adding the solder. The flux that's inside of this paste, see it melts. The flux that's inside of there keeps contaminants out, so you get a good adhesion. So again, we'll heat the post up, add some solder, remove it. And it doesn't take a lot of solder, we just need it to make proper adhesion. And what I like to do is shift the component to one side so all the pins are actually touching the eyelet. That way I'm not relying on only the solder as the conductor. So we'll hold the pin, add that, do this one. That one does not look that good. Maybe we got some junk in there. Maybe solder burnt off too easy. I may redo that pin. I'll zoom in and show you later what I like them to look like. So let me desolder this one I just did. And we'll redo this one. Clean my tip up. It may be that there wasn't a good, I mean, it seemed like there was a large amount of flux there. So the component's still hot, so the flux is still melting. Let's go ahead and just a little on there. Again, we're gonna heat the post up, add the solder, remove. That looks much better. All right. Let me clean the flux off this board and I'll see if I can get a good zoomed in version for you guys. Again, there's nothing wrong with like leaving the flux on there. A lot of people do that. It doesn't take long to do these repairs, so it's no big deal for me just to go back and clean up my mess that I made on the board. So we'll go ahead. So earlier today, I posted the video of that cluster repair on that 09 Impala. Okay, so it doesn't look like I got as much solder as what I thought on two of these joints. So the solder I use, the Kessler solder, does have a good amount of flux in it. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some solder to these two. Much better. Ooh. You see how it's not setting to the component real well? It's one of two things. Either there's contaminants, I didn't get it clean enough, or I don't have the post that I'm actually adhering the solder to hot enough. So the solder's just like not going on there, it's globbing on there. So we're going to go ahead and get that off there. It may be just the lack of flux now that I've reheated it so many times. Oh. Helps if you charge the gun. There we go. I'm going to clean that off. Well, since we're having issues with contaminants, I'm going to go ahead and just add some liquid solder instead, or liquid flux instead. This works really, really well. Much better. Alright, so it's probably just a lack of flux. Let's see if we can. There's not really any alcohol left there. Alright. See if I can zoom in on that. See if I get it to focus. I'll point out. So here's one of the solder joints I just made. Here's one. There's one. There's one, the one that I had to redo. There's the top one. So for reference, here's the factory made ones. See how the solder seems to be stuck to the board and just kind of barely grasping the post sticking up. It doesn't look like a glob on top of it. That's what's important. That's how you know that the solder is adhering properly to the board and will keep a good contact and not break easy. So we'll flip this back over. Clip that board down. We're going to reassemble this. So this one's done. This is completed. That was a replacement of the headlight relay for this lighting control module on those Fords. Reassembly is just clip it all back together. There's some pins these go to in the sides. If you can see that, it's like that on both sides. So it snaps together. And there's 2 screws. They're a Torx bit, but they're like a T30 or something. But those pocket screwdrivers happen to be the correct size for that. They're right here on this heat sink. They secure this heat sink to the casing, kind of adding an additional heat sink. Alright, so there's one repaired lighting control module. Part number on this one, 3 Whiskey 7 Tango -13 Charlie 788 Alpha Hotel. There's 2 models of lighting control modules for these. I think the difference is automatic headlights or not, but either way, this is the model that has that problem. So if your lighting control module looks like this and you have intermittent headlights and you have determined that all the rest of the circuits are good, it's pretty simple. This plug-in, the light plug-in, is the one that houses the headlight circuit. I don't remember what the pinout is. It's been a while since I've diagnosed this one. This was just a request to repair this one. Kind of the shop said, can you fix this one too? It does the same problem. So I didn't diagnose it, but I'm sure this fixes it. Very few times has there been other issues. Again, test, don't guess, but that's one repaired lighting control module. So again, guys, let me know what you think about this. I have one other, I guess I'll film it tonight. It's a it's a master main fuel injection relay on an older Honda. Those fail all the time, and the customer doesn't want to purchase a used one because they all have problems, and new ones are like $90, and it's just a relay. It's just a box with a ballast resistor, couple diodes, 2 standard 4-pin or 2 standard 5-pin relays. Not a standard that you can buy on the shelf, but they're just a regular old 5-pin relay, you know, with a normally closed or a normally open with a single closed circuit out. So anyways, I'll make a video repairing that, but this one's done. So have a good one, guys.